Thank you. So, listen, I'm not here today to try and impress you. I literally want to inspire you. So, before I get into my talk, I've got a short time to do this talk. And trust me, this is the only engaging part I'm going to do of the talk. But can you put your hand up if you've been to this stadium before for an event or a tour or something? Pretty cool. So, most of you. So, listen, 9, 10 years ago, this university did not exist here. So, what an opportunity you have to be here today and potentially study at this university. I'm sure there's parents sitting here who would have loved the opportunity to study at a university like this. Now listen, you're in the minority here. I think I read the other day, and don't quote me 100%, but apparently 27% of the UK have a degree, which means you're in the minority. Most people don't have a degree. Most people aren't successful, but you're the few. You're the few who might change the world. Because it's not the many who change the world, it is the few. Now listen, I was sat in your position 5.5 years ago with my parents, just like you, with a dream, nothing else. I had the intention, just like you might have, for broadcasting, for media, for coaching, for international events, for business, psychology, whatever it is. And trust me when I say you don't need anything else. You don't need the skills. I didn't have the skills, but I had that dream. That's all you need, because Ucfb, you'll be in safe hands. Now, I'll quickly introduce myself and then I'll get on to the good stuff because I've only got about 10 minutes, but I'm sorry to disappoint. I am a West Ham fan. There might be some out there, I'm not sure. I'm also a keen goalkeeper and I'm from Essex. I commuted in when I studied here. I know most of you will probably live here. The Archview, I actually work here now as a media consultant. I've seen the building, absolutely incredible. That wasn't here 2 or 3, 4 years ago. It's absolutely incredible. But in terms of what I did, I'm the product of the sports business and broadcasting degree. And I show you these pictures for a reason, because I was never good with a camera. I always made sort of little films on my phone when I was younger about my family, about football, things like that, sort of little vlogs and all that sort of stuff. Same with presenting. I was the sort of person in school, and don't get me wrong, I had a good upbringing, but I wasn't the person to put my hand up. I wasn't the person to do a talk in assembly. I'd even shy away, I'd go to the toilet and I wouldn't come and do it. I wanted to, I didn't know how to. I didn't have the confidence. As you can see, UCFB are giving me them opportunities. I've had the opportunity to work at National League clubs like Barnet Football Club, Braintree Football Club, Billericay in the National League. Opportunities that you wouldn't normally get unless you actually work in the industry. UCFB is going to give you opportunities to work at places like Queen's Park Rangers, to present, to film. But that might not be your thing. You might want to coach. You might want to be involved in the marketing side, the business, whatever it is, because I'm sure that you all have different ideas and intentions. And obviously I am going to be biased. I am going to say that the sports business and broadcasting degree is the best one here, but obviously I can't talk for the other degrees. But no matter what it is you want to study, I can assure you, you will definitely find success. And the reason I wanted to show this slide in particular is because, listen, I heard a quote once and it said, your future will be determined by the people you've not yet met. And I hadn't met any of these people before I started here at UCFB. Some of them I met directly, some of them I met indirectly. And people like Harry Redknapp, guest speaker, people like Ollie Murs whilst I was playing football. But because that same week I had been up to Harry Redknapp, asked him a question, had that confidence, took that leap of faith, I had the confidence to go and ask Ollie Murs a question, get a selfie. Whether it's a selfie, whether it's a piece of advice. Jack Collison, this came in my 3rd year, ex-West Ham legend, played with Gareth Bale, played with Mark Noble at West Ham. This was actually last month where I got to talk alongside him about the documentary 2 years later, because back in February 2020, I filmed a short film for my dissertation, which is pretty cool if you do want to do broadcasting, because you don't have to do a written dissertation, you can do a short film. But what an opportunity. Building up from 1st year, getting opportunities to work, building up to that 3rd year project, to go and film it. If you want to watch it, it is on YouTube, The American Football Dream. I actually called it that because obviously they call it soccer, but I stood firm and said, no, it's football. So I called it that. And obviously he's from Wales, but he's from around this area as well. So yeah, if you want to check that out. But probably the proudest moment, and the reason I wanted to show you this slide in particular, is because for a long time I wanted to be, and I still do want to be, amongst many other things, but obviously it's hard, I wanted to be a professional goalkeeper. And I play semi-professionally. But like many of you here, I'm sure the younger ones have that dream of, you know, maybe playing for England or playing professionally, playing at a stadium like this, lifting a trophy at a stadium like this. And last year, I had that opportunity. So for every person here, when you come to the end of your degree and you see through the process, you'll have the opportunity potentially to win an award. And don't get me wrong, it's not about the award. It's not about the degree, it's more than just a degree. And I wasn't trying to win this award. But how cool is that? I think if that doesn't inspire some of you, then I don't know what would. But listen, UCFB, I feel like that's where I belong. That's why I've come back to help the current students part-time. Because, listen, I was the sort of person who was told, you want to be going to places like the Oxfords of the world. This is the Oxford in sports education. And you don't have to do what people say you should do. You should do what you want to do. Study the thing you want to study. Incredibly proud moment as well. My parents are actually here watching today, and my dad's actually on the camera. But incredibly proud moment last year. I had a delayed graduation. But yeah, my lecturers, I couldn't have done it without them, whether that's Robin Bailey, Mick Kelly, Sam Smith, Joe Johnson, Owen Williams. Incredible. And I couldn't have done it without their help. Industry professionals. These aren't people who have just learnt it in theory. They've actually done it. But the point I also wanted to make is actually that, listen, it's quite daunting coming here for an open day and then maybe a taster day to study and do a degree. And obviously you get your degree first and then you want to go and get employed. And obviously 93% do get employed. But I'm telling you, you can also do other things. You could start up your own business like I have. My degree is sports business and broadcasting. So I do broadcasting and I do a business. So I run a juicing business back in Essex. More recently, like I said, it's more than just a degree. GIS Summit in Atlanta. Got to meet the incredible Mark Clement, BBC presenter. I actually came back and I was watching TV in a gym and he was on TV. I was like, that's unbelievable. And I met him. I met him. I got him on LinkedIn. I can message him. I did a little vlog with him. It's absolutely incredible. And I met some great people. Even got to hold the MLS trophy. So some of these experiences you just wouldn't get unless you make that decision to come and study here. So listen, I've not got too much longer left, but like I said, I've come back part-time because I wanted to give back. I wanted to do talks like this to hopefully inspire you, to show you what's possible. Like I said, you know, I'm living proof of what can be done. So that's the question I have for you. Just have a think about this maybe now or later today. Where could you be? Where could you be in 1 year's time? Where could you be in 2 or 3 or 5 if you decide today or maybe in the next few days or later this year to come and study at a university like this? Because I sincerely believe that life is what you dare to make it. That things just won't happen. They will happen if you make the right decisions. If you give UCFB a chance to study, you don't drop out because you pick the degree you want to do. And trust me, it's incredibly fulfilling. If you pick the right degree, you know you want to do that, you won't go far wrong. So listen, why not decide today to come and study here? You know, anything really is possible. You know, listen, who would have thought something like COVID would have happened? You know, who would have thought someone like Graham Potter, managing a university team 8-10 years ago, would now be Chelsea manager? A friend of mine who I grew up with at school now plays for West Ham United. His name's Flynn Downs. I sat next to him. Who would have thought that all these amazing things can happen? So I'm saying the same to you. I'm saying that life is what you dare to make it. Fortune does really favour the bold. And everything that is possible for me is also possible for you. Thank you for coming. I wish you all the success. And I'll be at the back if you want to talk to me as well. And come and grab me. Thank you.